Because today, actually, in a way, Mr. Singh did. He said, when I'm prime minister, I will make it permanent.
Sure, absolutely.
He could be prime minister if your party was willing to force an election, but you're unwilling to because you don't think he's going to be prime minister, I think.
Okay. Guys, you're about to see Vashi just attack the NDP today. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few videos in relations to the announcement that Trudeau came out today talking about some sort of a tax relief for Canadians for the next 2 months. Now this is on the heels of the Randy Boissonnault debacle, and I don't know if this is another distraction tactic, which most likely it is. But today, Michael Barrett from the Conservatives and Taylor Baccarat from the NDP went on Vashi Kapelas' show to talk about this tax relief from Trudeau. Now, the significance is that earlier in the day, Jagmeet came out saying that it was the NDP that made the Liberals cave to this tax relief. And when he becomes Prime Minister, he's planning to make this a permanent thing.
So we said, as New Democrats, I believe, and we believe, that we need to take the GST off of daily essentials. Let's give working class folks a bit of relief, a little break. And so we wanted to see the GST removed from things like your cell phone bill, your internet bill, your home heating bill, from your daily necessities, like going to a grab-and-go grocery store, grab-and-go items at the grocery store, or your essentials when it comes to kids, clothing, diapers. And we fought for this. We said this is important. And the Liberals informed us that they had caved to our demands. But they included a Liberal letdown. This is temporary, and it doesn't include the monthly bills. But we know that middle-class families need a break. And then, when I'm Prime Minister, I will make it permanent.
Now, this guy doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of becoming the Prime Minister. But if you remember a while ago, he let us know that he ripped up that supply and confidence agreement. And he was actually questioned by one of the reporters saying, "You said you tore that up, but is this not just the exact same situation?"
Your supply and confidence agreement. So how is this any different now, what you're doing with the Liberals?
We fought for something. We said it should happen. We said that people should get a break. They should get the GST removed off of their essentials. The Liberals caved to that demand.
Yes, they caved. Just like he let you know a few months ago that he tore up that agreement. In this press conference, he continuously said that they kept caving to him.
And the Liberals have caved to that. The Liberals caved to that demand, and then the Liberals caved to that. The Liberals, with no negotiation, they came forward and said they caved to our demand, and the Liberals have caved to it, and the Liberals informed us that they had caved to our demands.
This guy is such a clown. He's got to be one of the worst individuals to do press conferences, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if his poll numbers start dipping after this. But as you kept hearing him talk about, they got the essentials covered. If you actually go to the list that was prepared of the things that are covered, prepared salads, sandwiches, and similar pre-made platters, dine-in, takeout, or delivery restaurant meals, cakes, pies, donuts, brownies, and other pastry items. None of these things are essential, in my opinion. Let's go on. Beer, wine, cider coolers, candies, chocolate, gum, and related sweets, chips, cheese puffs, popcorn, similar salted snacks, ice cream, other frozen treats and puddings, fruit bars, granola products, doll houses, toy cars, Lego action figures. Like, where does any of this say essential? Even the food that's laid out is garbage food. This is not things that you want to be ingesting a good majority of the time. There's no just flat out fruits and veggies or meat products or any kind of just regular dairy. It has to be something that's processed or frozen. Then we get down to children's clothing, footwear, car seats, diapers. I agree, that's great. But then video games, consoles and controllers, jigsaw puzzles, board games, print newspaper, select books, Christmas trees, natural and artificial. Like, how is any of this essential items? And when you actually go to the official list of things, they break it down a little bit more. Candies, including candy floss, chewing gum, chocolate, as well as fruits, seeds, nuts, and popcorn that are treated with candy. And the only kind of fruit related thing would also be something that's pre-prepared for you. It says prepared salad, sandwiches, platters of cheese, cold cuts, fruits or veggie basically platters, and other arrangements of prepared food. why don't you just allow us to buy our own fruits and veggies and we will then make those platters ourselves? To go out and just constantly buy all this pre-made garbage, and none of that is actually essential. So regardless if we ever wait for you to be a prime minister or not, you're not actually helping anybody. And this then ties into the interview that Vashi had with Taylor Backrad of the NDP, questioning him on this announcement from Jagmeet.
I want to bring in Mr. Backrad, and I have to ask you quite bluntly, why is your party supporting the Liberals on this when your leader, Mr. Singh, was explicit that it did not go nearly as far as you would like to see it go? You wanted it to cover more stuff and you wanted it to be permanent. Why do you continue to support the Prime Minister and his party when you say this falls so short?
Well, thanks, Vashi. First of all, like we are hearing from Canadians, there's a broad swath of the Canadian public that's struggling to make ends meet. And last week we were up calling, demanding that the government take the GST off a whole host of essentials, including home heating, kids' clothes, phone and internet bills. It appears the Prime Minister has caved to that demand and put forward, in classic Liberal fashion, put forward a lesser offer to Canadians. But at the same time, what they've put forward will help people. It's going to put money in their pockets and is going to reduce the cost of some essentials for a period of time. We would make it permanent. We would do more. We would go further. But our commitment, when we ended the agreement, was to take everything that the government brings forward in the House on a case-by-case basis, look at the merits, and vote in the best interest of Canadians. So we're coming into the Christmas season. Families are going to be stretched. Here's something that's going to give them some help. I think it would be irresponsible not to support that and get them the help that they need.
But aren't you just also sending the message to Canadians that if the Liberals do a tiny bit of what the NDP likes, then you're willing to keep them in power? And isn't that a difficult message for Canadians to reconcile with?
Unfortunately, it's not that difficult to reconcile with because that's exactly what we've been dealing with for the past 2 years. The NDP say, we want this carrot, you guys got to give it to us. The Liberals say, no problem, we'll give you the carrot. But really, it's a baby carrot. So they're still giving you something that you want, but not the full thing. And the NDP say, all right, well, you still gave us a carrot, so I guess we're going to support you. It's nothing new here. And them saying that they tore up the agreement or that the Liberals have caved to them, it doesn't change anything. Their coalition is still alive and strong. And I want you to just listen to Taylor's answer to this question from Vashi because it makes no sense.
This isn't about sending messages. It's not about the kind of political games that Michael was talking about. This is about getting help to Canadians. It's that simple. So people are watching this. They're looking at Christmas coming up. They're looking at their paychecks and the cost of things in the store, and they're stressed. This is what they're telling me. They're like, we're worried. We're not going to be able to make ends meet. We're not going to be able to put presents under the tree. We're not going to be able to pay our bills. This is an incredibly stressful time of year for people. And so if the government is willing to put something on the table that lowers people's bills, that gives them some of that relief at such a critical time of year, how can we say no to that?
Yes, how could you say no to GST being taken off of candy and a stick of gum? Forget the internet or the phone bill or the home heating. Just take the scraps that the Liberals will throw you because these are the things that people are calling you saying they can't make ends meet on because they're paying the GST on a cup of coffee, on some candy, on a donut. Like, get real, bro. That makes no sense whatsoever. And Vashi actually challenges him on this, saying, no, actually, there is something you could do. You could call an election. But as you heard her say in the opening, you guys don't have confidence that Jagmeet's going to win. And then he comes back with an even worse answer than the one he just gave.
Because today, actually, in a way, Mr. Singh did. He said, when I'm prime minister, I will make it permanent.
Sure, absolutely.
He could be prime minister if your party was willing to force an election, but you're unwilling to because you don't think he's going to be prime minister, I think. Coming
into Christmas, I think the question, whether Canadians want an election at Christmas or they want $250 and a cut to the GST on things like kids' clothes.
Do you really think they're willing to trade the opportunity to get rid of a prime minister that your leader says is a total failure for $250?
Yes, Vashi. Yes, they do, because they think we are stupid. Just look at the time frame or the window that they're giving this tax relief. It's from December 14th to February 15th. What's happening in that time frame? You have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Then you have New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And then just before it ends, you have Valentine's Day. Well, what are one of the things that they say are essential on this list of things that they're removing the GST on is dine-in, takeout, or delivery or restaurant meals. So they know what they're doing in terms of trying to get people won over during the holiday season, being like, oh yeah, now we can go out, we can spend time with our family and have meals because we're not paying the GST. But when the Financial Post breaks it down, saying what will be tax-free under this promise by Justin Trudeau, it states, the government says removing GST from these goods for the 2-month period that they're claiming would save you $100 for a family that spends $2,000 on those goods during that time. And for those in the provinces with HST, the family spending $2,000 would save $260. Do you think at the end of the day that is really that worth it when we can get potentially an election happening, get the carbon tax cut, and who else and who knows what else the Conservatives can help us with? Do they really think that people are like, oh my God, $250, no GST on candy and coffee and donuts and gum? Like, they think that we're that stupid. So yes, the answer to your question is they do think that people would be fine with $250 over an election. And Baccarat essentially doubles down saying like, yes, of course, these people don't want an election. They want this little band-aid that will help them, not in the long run, just in the short term. And Vashi pushes back saying like, so you're telling me that they would like less than. These Canadians deserve less than.
There's absolutely going to be an election, and Canadians are going to have a chance to voice their opinion at the polls. But listen, we're dealing with a very immediate and very real crisis of affordability for families across the country. And so our commitment that we made was that we would look at everything that the government brings forward on a case-by-case basis, and we would vote in the best interests of Canadians. Now, our leader has been very clear that an NDP government would do much more. In fact, the proposal...
But you're okay with one doing less now?
The demands that we put forward last week and continued this week went further. This is a permanent cut to the GST on essentials. The GST was never meant to be charged on essentials in the first place. So the fact that there are still kids' clothes and food products that are having GST charged on them, I think doesn't make sense to a lot of people. So we're going to make it permanent. We're going to do everything we can to get people help in the short term.
And this is the problem with the NDP and the Liberals. They are so short-sighted. They don't see the big picture. This is a short-term temporary relief that doesn't actually help anybody. You guys keep talking about the essentials. This Global News report even points out that half the things, or majority of the things on the list, are not essential, as we've talked about it. And the people in the video, they're not falling for this. They know that this is a ploy just for you guys to get votes.
Right? Justin Trudeau trying to make Christmas come early.
Everyone had to tighten their belts a little bit. And now we're going to be able to give a tax break for all Canadians.
That 2-month break scheduled to start December 14th, pausing the GST or HST on a host of new items like diapers, kids' clothes, and prepared food from the grocery store. But as the list goes on, the items get less essential. Beer and cider under 7% alcohol, chips, candy, and ice cream. Plus video game consoles like this $960 PS5 Pro will all not have GST on it. Potential gifts.
It's beautiful and a breeze to set up.
You could put under this $2,200 Christmas tree that's also GST free, and to help Canadians afford those items.
If you worked in 2023 and earned up to $150,000, we're going to be sending you a check for $250.
An estimated 18.7 million Canadians can expect those checks, a fundamental Liberal policy shift, away from targeting programs to help the most vulnerable, and the kind of policy Justin Trudeau used to rag Stephen Harper for.
We're going to stop sending those checks to the people who don't need it so we can send larger checks to the families who do need it.
The cost over $6 billion, adding to a ballooning $46 billion projected deficit.
They're kind of bribing us with our own money here, as governments like to do sometimes. It's a question of whether we value it and find it useful.
And its value is getting mixed reviews.
It's a lame attempt to throw money at people, right? Without realizing what exactly where everyone's going through.
Everyone can use it, but
but it would be nice if it was a little more.
Have an opening comment and then...
That sentiment backed by the NDP, who will vote for the measures, some of which they first proposed.
We're not going to oppose people getting some help. It's not the way we would have done it.
You guys are no fun.
Pierre Poilievre won't say if he's in support, but wants other taxes cut.
By the way, let's axe the carbon tax and axe the GST on new homes.
As for when you can expect those checks, the Liberals say it'll be in early 2025, but that assumes, Donna, Parliament's able to pass it on time.
Okay, and Mac, I would think it's hard for the Conservatives to be too critical about giving Canadians a Christmas tax break, but it isn't something that's usually in the Liberal playbook. Why are they doing it now?
Well, Justin Trudeau thinks he's playing political Santa in this situation to help the Liberals, who are in a tough spot, down 22 points to the Conservatives in an Abacus poll that came out today. So he's turning to the Conservative provincial playbook that premiers in Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Quebec have all done, sending checks directly to voters close to an election, because it's generally been a successful political strategy. And how that policy actually plays out in different provinces will be different. In places with HST, like Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, the Liberal plan will take the full 15% off those new items. But in places where there's GST and PST, like Manitoba and BC, it's only a 5% discount. So meaning where you live, Donna, will have a big impact on how the Liberals' plan could potentially affect you.
And there you have it. He's essentially trying to bribe us for our votes. And don't get me wrong, I agree. Times are tough. Things are really pinched, especially this time of the season when you have to, usually shell out for family, friends, loved ones, all that kind of stuff. But please, don't fall for this $250 check. Don't fall for this little temporary relief on this garbage that he's talking about. Focus on the main thing. We want the election. We want to get this guy out of power. And that's the main goal. But as always, this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought about all this in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button if you can. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.